I hate Twitter.
Yeah,
I
I'm cool. I'm
absolutely
cool
hate
with the
Twitter.
trade-off. If Dan's able to bring us our first national championship, but the pay to the devil is he has to leave the year afterward, I think I'm taking it. Like the goal is to win the national championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go out on a high note, right? I mean, can you blame Harbaugh? He's like, hey, I came to make Michigan relevant, win the national title. He did. He got what he wanted in the NFL searches, and he was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get both sides of the coin. In my hypothetical situation, Dan wins and then he leaves. I'm still gonna be mad that he left. Like, there's no denying that's just because I love the man. I love Dan. I wish he would stick around for eternity. But at the very same instance, like you said, you can't really blame him at the same time, and that's kind of also something that would make me mad. I guess I'd want to be more mad, but
Yeah, I mean, I was not pissed when Chip left. I was sad, but I was like, well, he took an NFL coaching job. I mean, you can't blame someone from going successful college coach, NFL coach.
mm-hmm.
Because for a lot of people, that's the dream. Now, not everyone. Everyone has different aspirations or hopes, dreams, and outlooks and stuff. Maybe Lanny is just like, you know what? And he has said it. So I mean, I'm not doubting his word. He has said it. He's like, I'll be here as long as Oregon and the community want me here, or will have me rather, or something
Mm-hmm.
along those lines. So I mean, if he were to win one, maybe even two titles over say 10 years, and he's like, you still want me here? And we're like, yeah. He's like, I'll stay then. I mean, so be it. If he's being successful, I mean, yeah, he could be the next, Mike Bellotti or Rich Brooks.
I know it's getting so rare nowadays to see those coaches. The Sabans to Alabama is rare. The Kirby Smart, the continued success sticking with Georgia, it's rare. But if there's one man who could look into this camera and convince me that he wants to be here, it's Dan.
Oh, you son of a bitch, Tony. Why? Why would you do this? Now you just brought up a whole new topic. I have to write this down and mark notes for. Imagine if Chip would never have left Oregon. Ooh. Oh, that's a. If Chip never left, or I'm writing this down. Son of a bitch. Damn it, Tony. This is making me work and shit. That is an interesting topic, though, because I mean, you think what would have Chip done with Mariota in his second year or third year?
The third year is the interesting one.
Also, because would have Aliotti stayed on staff in his third year? I mean, Mariota's third year, because he retired after the first year of Helfrich because Aliotti did not get the Oregon job. He wanted to be the head coach, but they gave it to Helfrich, so Aliotti retired. So if Aliotti stayed on, what could have happened that year? That's it. I mean, that's a damn interesting question.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'd be looking at a different story in the second Natty appearance. Who knows? I don't know the whole coaching staff though. That's a really good point. It's not even just Chip at that point. It's like how does that domino effect continue to affect the coaching staff that kind of proceeded the next 2-3 years after Chip left.
Yeah, because I mean, Chip leaves, specifically like Aliotti stays on. Then Aliotti retires because he's like, well, I wanted to be the head coach. They didn't give it to me. Yada yada. Aliotti then goes out and talks to other teams about how to defend the spread. Which, I mean, he has all the right to do. That's nothing bad on Aliotti. I mean, obviously, even Nick Saban called him and was like, dude, what the fuck? How do I defend this shit? Of course. But yeah, but think about that. If Aliotti stayed on, as well as exactly all the rest of the staff members, Pelham was still the linebacker coach. Pelham was the linebacker coach, right?
I think so.
if I recall correctly, before he became DC. We would never have had the Hulk experience. That wasn't a joke. That was the Hulk experience. That wasn't a joke. I mean, it was a joke, but
the Hulk experience,
yeah.
trying to leap at Willie Taggart real quick. It's just the domino effect that kind of took place in the years following, man, was absolutely wild.
But and this is a great point by GWG here. Chip Kelly did leave, also in good reason, because he did get a no-show, the no-show cause or whatever, for 18 months or whatever it was. So
that's valid. That's something I forgot about.
I forgot about that too briefly. So technically he couldn't. Now that's not to say he couldn't have stayed. The university would have just said, this is why we're keeping him on and retaining him, and maybe taking a slight penalty, because they took the no-show calls on Chip Kelly. And then I think like 2 or 3 scholarships for a couple of years, something like that, if I recall correctly. Something, pretty minor. Mostly it was on Chip, even though it was self-reported stuff. But the university could still say, well, we want to keep him on because this. And the NCAA could still approve it to let him stay. Now, maybe there would have been scholarship reductions a little more because of that, but they still could have allowed him to. Any school could have hired him during that point. They just had to give a reason why.
Yeah, well, he knew what he was doing, though. When he dipped out, there was a very strategic exit point. At that point, it felt like, Chip was getting sanctioned. The university was getting sanctioned. You start to pull scholarships. It's a really finicky road. I think at that point, it was probably best just for both parties to mutually part ways in kind of a more elegant way of doing it. Chip gets to elevate his job. Oregon kind of settle some of the dust that was being flung up at the point. It worked out to a degree. Because of the success that happened in 2013.
Yeah, in 2014, and so so it's still in the end worked out. It just, we saw a few years of working things out, trial and errors after that. So it's not like it was a total minus. We'll ignore 2016 ever happened. We're going to ignore that year. That never happened. People, relax. Not going to discuss that year at all. Outside of the emergence of Justin Herbert. That was the only good thing that happened that year. That was the only good thing that happened that year. And Derek's favorite player, Prue Cup.
Dakota, the Montana State legend.
Oh my God. I thought, hey, maybe we had another gem. And I remember, what was the first game? Was like Virginia, or the second game or something? I was like, dude, we look like trash. I think they let off with
Virginia that year. Yeah,
I was like, we look like trash.
By Virginia. Oh yeah, honestly, I was kind of with you though. The Dakota Prue Crop, they brought him in, and I was like, okay, but he can move a little bit. His arm talents. He had some arm talent. Don't get me wrong.
We're not going to compare him to like Vernon Adams, but like, okay, he'll be serviceable. No. I wonder what he's doing now.
Selling car insurance.
Wow, you are a heartless bitch.
Oh, I'm being dead ass serious. I'm pretty sure he's an insurance salesman.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him. Good for him.
Oh God, yeah, that guy. I thank him for his 2 victories he took a part of that year. Trash.